Hello, magical friends. I'm Abigail, your guide for this evening. Tonight, we'll journey together down enchanted forest trails, listening to the timeless tales the trees have to tell and embracing the deep wisdom that nature imparts. Before we dive into our tale, take a moment, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and find your calm. Ready? Let's embark on this wondrous voyage, the legendary Luminous lily journey to the Whispering Woods. The village of Larkspur, nestled on the edge of the world, was bordered by the extraordinary Whimsical Whispering Woods. Ancient stories spoke of these woods, of trees that murmured tales of yesteryears, where memory shadows danced with sunlight and riddles echoed through the breezes. Lila, the protagonist of our tale, was a young girl of 12. Her raven, black hair cascaded down like a waterfall of night, and her sapphire eyes held the depth of 1,000 oceans. Lila was known throughout Larkspur for her insatiable curiosity, often leading her to venture where few dared. She was particularly entranced by the tales of the legendary Luminous lily, a mythical flower said to bloom only once every century under the full moon's embrace. This lily had the power to grant one wish to the soul pure enough to seek it. As Lila stood at the edge of the woods, her heart was a cauldron of emotions: excitement, hope, fear, and anticipation. The dense trees loomed high, their tops kissing the heavens. The entrance was adorned with ivies that glittered, luminescent under the first light of dawn. Birds with iridescent feathers sang harmonious melodies, welcoming her. She took a deep breath, her little map clutched tightly in her hand, and began her journey into the heart of the Whispering Woods. Every step into the woods was a step into another world. Trees with silvery barks towered o'er her, their leaves whispering stories of adventures past. The ground beneath her feet was soft, with moss that glowed faintly. Fireflies danced around her, each blink a beacon of guidance. As she ventured deeper, the canopy thickened, and the world outside started fading, leaving Lila in a cocoon of whispers, dreams, and magic. As the morning sun began its ascent, Lila stumbled upon a clearing. Here, the grass was a vivid shade of emerald, and in its center stood a majestic oak tree, its roots twisting and turning, forming intricate patterns on the ground. Beneath this tree was Squeak, the squirrel. Unlike regular squirrels, Squeak had fur that changed colors, reflecting his emotions. Now, as he spotted Lila, it turned a curious shade of blue. His eyes, large and hazelnut, observed her intently. Ah, another traveler seeking the lily, he mused, his voice soft yet clear. But, as is the custom of these woods, you must answer a riddle to proceed. Lila nodded, her curiosity evident. Squeak cleared his throat, his tail flicking excitedly. I fly without wings. I cry without eyes. Whenever I go, darkness flies. What am I? Lila pondered the riddle, listening to the soft sounds of the forest around her. A cloud, she replied. thinking of the cloudy days when the sun was obscured. Squeak's fur shimmered with delight. Correct, head north to meet Orla. The northern path led Lila through a labyrinth of roses that sang lullabies and moonflowers that radiated a soft, silvery glow. As she approached the weeping willows, their long tendrils brushed her gently, as if acknowledging her presence. Beneath the largest willow sat Orla, the wise old owl. Her feathers were a mosaic of starry nights, and her amber eyes seemed to hold the universe's mysteries. "Welcome, young seeker," Orla intoned, "but before we converse, a riddle awaits." With a deep breath, Lila nodded. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind." "What am I?" Lila thought deeply, taking in the rustling leaves, the whispering trees, and the silent stories around her. "An echo," she replied, her voice filled with conviction. Orla's eyes twinkled in approval. "Indeed, the path to the lily is fraught with challenges, young one. Trust in yourself and the whispers of the woods. Follow the river upstream, and it will lead you closer to your heart's desire." Feeling encouraged, Lila journeyed on, but the woods had one more riddle in store for her. Out jumped Riff, a rabbit with fur as white as snow and eyes gleaming with mischief. "Heard you're looking for the lily," Riff grinned, his whiskers twitching. "But first, one last riddle." Lila smiled, ready for the challenge. "What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?" Lila smiled, having heard a similar riddle before. "The letter." Riff chuckled, his whiskers twitching in amusement. "Right? You are. The river of reflections awaits you." The sun was now at its zenith, casting shimmering rays through the canopy and creating an intricate dance of light and shadow on the forest floor. Lila followed the path Riff pointed out to her and soon found herself beside a river unlike any she had ever seen before. The River of Reflections was aptly named. Its waters were so clear that Lila could see the stones and pebbles at the bottom, but what truly captivated her was the river's unique ability to reflect not just the world around it, but memories and dreams as well. As Lila peered into its depths, she saw fleeting images of her childhood, her family, her dreams, and even glimpses of adventures yet to come. Beside the river stood an ancient stone pedestal, ornately carved with runes that pulsed with a soft blue light. Resting atop it was a beautiful silver chalice, ornate and delicate, with gemstones that gleamed in the sunlight. Beside the pedestal was a plaque that read, "To reach the legendary Luminous lily, one must fill this chalice with the purest water from the River of Reflections. But be warned, the river does not give its treasures easily." With a determined look, Lila approached the river's edge, trying to scoop the water with her hands. But every time she attempted, the water evaded her grasp, leaving her hands dry. It seemed as if the river had a will of its own. Just then, A soft melodic voice echoed, "To take from the river, one must first give." Lila turned to find a majestic water nymph, her form shimmering and translucent, her hair flowing like the water itself. "I am Nerea, the guardian of this river. The water you seek is not just any water. It is the essence of memories, dreams, and emotions." Lila nodded, understanding the weight of the task. "What must I give to receive the water?" Nerea smiled. "Share a cherished memory, a heartfelt dream, or a deep emotion. In return, the river will grant you its essence." Taking a deep breath, Lila closed her eyes and began to speak. She shared the memory of her mother singing her lullabies, the dream she had of exploring the world beyond Larkspur, and the deep love she held for her family. As she spoke, the river's surface rippled, and the waters began to glow. Opening her eyes, Lila found that she could now scoop the water into the chalice. With the vessel filled, Nerea nodded in approval. "You've passed the test of the river, young seeker. The legendary Luminous lily awaits you at the moonlit meadow. Follow the glowing fireflies. They will guide your path." Grateful, Lila thanked Nerea and, with the chalice in hand, continued her journey, the fireflies lighting her way deeper into the magical heart of the Whispering Woods. As Lila traveled deeper into the forest, following the guiding glow of the fireflies, the whimsical whispering forest began to share its wisdom. Every whisper, every whistle, every tweet seems to contain deep insights about the world. Lila concentrated on the whispers around her and managed to hear a little of the wisdom of the forest. In every fall of a leaf, there is a promise of a new bud. At ends, there are beginnings. Nature teaches us the balance of life. Came a distant whisper. Rivers never rush, yet they carve valleys and shape lands. Patience, young seeker, can move mountains over time. It would sound to the night just like talking to her. Look at the trees. Each one is unique in its shape and size, but together they form a forest. In diversity there is unity. In unity there is strength, the whispers continued. Seasons change, days turn into nights, but the world keeps turning. Embrace change, because it is the only constant. Under the ground, seeds dream of the sky. They all hold within them the potential for greatness, often unseen until the right moment. The sun does not shine for itself, nor does the tree bear fruit for self-consumption. Nature's generosity is a lesson in selfless giving. Not all growth is visible. Just as tree roots grow deep and invisible, our inner growth is often hidden, but just as important. As these pearls of wisdom embedded themselves in Lila's heart, she felt a deep connection to the world around her. The journey to the legendary glowing lily was not only a physical journey, but also a spiritual one, which helped her understand the deeper truths of existence. With each step, Lila felt more grounded, more attuned to the rhythm of the universe, and more ready for the challenges ahead. Lila's journey through the Whispering Woods was becoming more and more enchanting. The path she walked on was lined with petals, each glowing faintly, illuminating her way in the dappled sunlight. The whispers of the trees grew softer, replaced by the gentle hum of the forest. Emerging from a thicket, Lila found herself on the edge of a vast glade. Unlike the deep greens of the forest she had left behind, this meadow was awash in vibrant colors. Great, tall flowers stood like guards, their petals wide open, revealing stairs made of crystal. Huge butterflies, each the size of a bird, fluttered about, their wings shimmering in the daylight. Suddenly, from amidst the tall grass, a flock of luminescent dragonflies took to the air. They formed patterns, flying in harmony, leading Lila across the glade. She followed them, feeling the soft touch of the meadow flowers brushing against her, their scent intoxicating. Without realizing it, Lila had ventured into the heart of the glade. Here, a tranquil stream flowed. Beside the stream was a unique stone, round and flat, hovering just above the ground. It beckoned Lila to step on, and when she did, the stone gently lifted into the air and carried her across the stream. On the other side, the woods were denser. Trees with trunks of silver and leaves of gold stood tall, and there, among the trees, were creatures unlike any Lila had ever seen. Elegant unicorns with manes that glowed, tiny goblins that giggled and played hide, and seek, and even a friendly-looking troll who nodded at Lila as she passed. As she ventured deeper into this section of the woods, she heard melodious singing. Following the sound, Lila discovered a circle of nymphs and elves, their hands joined, dancing around a shimmering fountain. The water in the fountain sparkled brightly, casting rainbow reflections all around. The eldest of the nymphs, with flowing green hair and robes made of petals, approached Lila. "You are far from the paths known to humans," she said with a soft smile. "But fear not, for in this part of the forest, only those with pure hearts can tread." Lila felt a warm sensation, realizing she was in a place where magic was not just in tales, but was alive and breathing. The forest creatures, sensing Lila's kind spirit, began to gather around her, eager to share their stories and show her the hidden wonders of the glade. As the day turned to evening, Lila was treated to the most magical sight yet. The entire glade lit up, each blade of grass, each leaf, and every creature glowing softly, painting a scene straight out of a dream. Lila's adventure in the Whispering Woods was proving to be far more wondrous than she could ever have imagined. With the enchanted glade's memories etched in her heart, she continued on her quest, knowing that more marvels awaited her. The deeper Lila ventured into the Whispering Woods, the more magical it became. The trees seemed to have an inner glow, and even the smallest flowers emanated a light of their own. This part of the forest had a serenity about it, a profound silence only broken by the delicate sounds of nature, the soft hoot of an owl, the trickle of hidden streams, and the distant melodious calls of creatures unknown. As twilight approached, the forest began to undergo a mesmerizing transformation. The very air seemed to throb with a palpable anticipation. Luminescent mushrooms sprouted, casting a gentle glow, and even the fallen leaves on the forest floor lit up like tiny stars. Lila then noticed a phenomenon she hadn't before. Every creature, whether big or small, began to glow. There were foxes with tails like fiery torches, deer with radiant antlers, and even birds that left trails of light as they flew. Drawn by a particularly brilliant glow, Lila soon found herself in a clearing bathed in silver moonlight. At the center stood a large, shimmering pond. Its waters were calm, mirroring the starlit sky above. Around the pond, creatures had gathered, all looking at the center with bated breath. Without a splash or ripple, a figure began to rise from the pond. It was Luna, the moon swan. Her feathers, pristine and glowing, illuminated the entire clearing. As Luna spread her wings, a soft, harmonious melody filled the air. Lila realized that the song was not coming from the swan, but from the very heart of the forest itself. The creatures joined in, each contributing their unique note, creating a symphony that spoke of ages past and mysteries deep. Lila felt an overwhelming connection with everything around her. It was as if the forest, with all its creatures, was revealing its soul to her. Luna then gracefully approached Lila. "You seek the legendary Luminous lily," she said, her voice a gentle caress. "It is not just the destination, but the journey and the lessons along the way that are essential. Tomorrow, when the sun is at its zenith, you will find the path that leads to it." With a gracious nod, Luna returned to the center of the pond, slowly descending into its depths, leaving the forest in a tranquil, luminous state. As Lila lay down to rest, the glowing creatures of the Whispering Woods surrounded her, offering warmth and protection. The night's events had made it clear. She wasn't merely a visitor in the forest, but an integral part of its age. Old story. Dawn broke with a spectrum of colors that Lila had never seen before. The air was thick with the promise of adventure. Recalling Luna's words from the previous night, Lila began her journey toward the sun's zenith, following its golden beams as they cut through the canopy. As she moved forward, Lila noticed a gradual change in the environment. The glowing creatures and luminescent plants started to become fewer, replaced by a landscape blanketed in thick, shimmering mists. The mists seemed alive, reacting to her presence by swirling around her feet, obscuring her path and creating illusions. The once clear path became a maze, with multiple trails branching in all directions. Lila soon realized that these weren't ordinary mists. They were conjured by the forest to test the resolve and heart of the seeker. Trying to navigate, Lila found herself on the edge of a seemingly bottomless ravine, the other side obscured by the thick mists. To her right, the ethereal fog took the form of a magnificent yet impassable waterfall, its waters cascading into the abyss below. To her left, a dense thicket of thorns rose up, each one looking sharper than the last. But Lila's keen eyes caught a pattern in the mist, a series of stepping stones suspended in the air, creating a treacherous path across the ravine. They would appear and disappear with the ebb and flow of the mist. Summoning all her courage and recalling the wisdom she'd gained, Lila took a deep breath and stepped onto the first stone, It held firm. With every step, the stones behind her vanished while new ones formed ahead, forcing her to move with purpose and precision. The mists around her began to conjure haunting sounds, voices of doubt and fear, whispering of failures and urging her to turn back. But Lila remembered the unity of the creatures she'd seen, their symphony, and the lessons of the forest. She closed her eyes, feeling the rhythm of the woods, and followed its guidance. After what seemed like hours, her feet touched solid ground. The mists slowly receded, revealing the continuation of her path. Ahead, she spotted a luminous glade with the soft glow of the legendary luminous lily beckoning her forward. Exhausted but elated, Lila realized that the forest didn't merely test her physical abilities, but also her inner strength, resilience, and belief in herself. She had faced her fears, and in doing so, was one step closer to the heart of the Whispering Woods and the treasure it held within. The dense canopy opened up to reveal a hidden glade, bathed in a golden aura, the heart of the Whimsical Whispering Woods. A mesmerizing light emanated from the center where the legendary luminous lily stood. It was more magnificent than any tale had ever described. Its petals shimmered with hues of gold, silver, and iridescent blues, and it seemed to float just above a crystal clear pond, its reflection a mirror image of pure beauty. However, the path to the lily was not unhindered. Between Lila and the wondrous bloom stood a colossal tortoise, its shell an intricate mosaic of time, with patterns narrating the ancient tales of the forest. Its eyes, old and wise, observed Lila with a knowing gaze. "I am Torin, the guardian of time." It spoke with a voice that resonated with the age of the earth. "I have been entrusted to protect the legendary luminous lily for eons. Many have tried to approach it, but few have the purity of heart to truly see it." Lila, gathering her courage, replied, "I've journeyed through the forest, learned its wisdom, and faced its challenges. I seek the lily not for personal gain, but to witness its legendary beauty and to understand the tales of old." Torin nodded slowly. "To approach the lily, one doesn't need to overcome me, but understand the essence of time. Time is both fleeting and eternal, a paradox. Tell me, young traveler, what have you learned about the passage of time in these woods?" Lila thought deeply. "I've learned that time in the woods is not linear. It's a dance of moments, memories, and dreams. The forest has shown me that every moment is precious, and that even in stillness, there is life and growth. Time has taught the trees to stand tall, the rivers to flow, and the creatures to adapt. In the Whispering Woods, time is a melody, a rhythm that everything dances to." Torin's age, old eyes sparkled with approval. "Wise words, young one. You've truly listened to the heartbeats of the woods. You may approach the legendary luminous lily." With Torin's blessing, Lila slowly approached the lily. Its glow seemed to brighten as she neared, radiating warmth and enveloping her in a gentle embrace of light. She felt a surge of emotions, wonder, joy, gratitude. At that moment, time seemed to stand still, and Lila felt a profound connection to the universe. As she stood there, entranced by the lily's beauty, a soft whisper reached her ears. "Make your wish, pure-hearted one." Lila closed her eyes and in the sanctity of the glade made her heartfelt wish. The journey had been long, but the destination was more enchanting than she had ever imagined. The stories were true, and the legendary luminous lily's magic was real. She was on the brink of realizing her dream. Thank you, dear listeners, for wandering with us through the captivating trails of the Whispering Woods and sharing Lila's extraordinary journey. May her adventures inspire you to seek wisdom, face challenges with courage, and embrace the magic all around. As you drift off tonight, let your dreams be filled with the luminous glow of the legendary lily. Remember, within every challenge lies an opportunity for growth. Until our next adventure, sweet dreams.